Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus told them this parable.
Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and lost one of them.
Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep?
And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home.
Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep."
I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent.
I love that story. Jesus' mission was like that of the shepherd. He loved us so much that he was willing to leave heaven to come to earth to seek and save the lost. And I believe Jesus would have left heaven even if it was for just one sinner. He loves us that much. He loves you that much. Hello, my name is Pastor Scott, and I want to welcome you to CrossView Church.
We're a church with a 104-year history of ministry here in Fulton and the surrounding communities. Over the course of this past century, you can imagine how many changes the church has made. The most recent change has been the actual name of our church. In August of 2020, the church board voted to retain the legal name of Second Reformed Church, but to operate under the new name, CrossView Church. As much has changed over the years, many things have remained constant. We are a church known in our community for our ministry to children and youth. We're a church that historically has been mindful of the next generation and willing to make difficult decisions in order to reach the next generation with the good news of God's love. We are a church that stands on the shoulders of previous generations that have come before us, men and women who've loved God, loved their community, and loved this church. Men and women like Stan and Jeannie Borgman. Finally, we are a church that believes the parable of the shepherd leaving the 99 sheep to find the one is a parable that describes what God desires from us. God has called us to reach out in love to our community and neighbors so that one more person might know the saving love of Jesus.
We're certainly not perfect as a church, and neither would we expect you to be perfect. But our hope is that as a community, we are learning to walk with Jesus more and more faithfully day by day, filled with his Spirit, guided by his word, living into all that he has for us. So I'm so glad that you chose to visit us here at wearecrossview.com, and we would love to meet you in person.